Now, live on WPRI 12 and on WPRI.com. This is Eyewitness News This Morning. Coverage you can count on.
6 a.m. on this Wednesday morning, intense flames ripped through a home in Providence, forcing more than a dozen people out into the street. We're live with the overnight breaking details. Plus,
you talk about Buddy Cianci. He was a priest next to this guy.
Unprecedented move from the Fall River City Council. They vote to temporarily remove the embattled mayor, Jason Correa, from office.
Good morning. Thanks for starting your day with us. There's a lot of news to get you caught up on this morning. Alexandra Leslie, Brandon Truitt, both with top stories, live reports in just a moment.
But before we check in with them, Michelle has a look at a warmer Wednesday forecast.
I expect inland highs to top 80 degrees today, guys. It's going to be feeling like summer again already this morning. It's a noticeable change in the temperatures. Looking at our Narragansett camera, mixture of clouds and some pre-dawn glow. The sunrise coming up in a little over 20 minutes now. Upper 60s to low 70s as you walk out the door this morning. Not only is it warmer, but it's also muggier, and talk about a significant jump. It's 17 degrees warmer in Taunton right now than it was yesterday morning at 6 a.m. In Providence, it's a 10-degree increase, and in Westerly, we're 14 degrees warmer than yesterday morning's commute. On the radar, there is a little bit of activity here. Most of this, again, going to stay up to the north of us today, so we are forecasting in general dry conditions through about 5 o'clock in the evening, and then we could get an isolated shower that passes through here. Our forecast for the day ahead, a mix of sun and clouds and a warmer day into the lower 80s for highs. Check out the winds, though. They will be busy all day long, gusting as high as 30 miles per hour from the southwest. Cold front comes through tonight, bringing about some cooler temperatures to finish out the work week. I'll have the details. Let's go out to the roadways with the pinpoint traffic update. Melissa, how's the commute?
Well, your roads are in good shape this morning. For those of you heading out on this Wednesday morning, you can see light activity here, 195 right over by Point Street. Your roads nice and dry, looking at pretty good visibility. Heading north, though, you'll be experiencing some slowdowns. 95 making your way in between exits 3 and about exit 5, about a 2-mile stretch where your speed's down into the 30s. Heading up 24, traffic's still very light. You'll notice a couple of hiccups as you're making your way through Brockton in the 40s and Stoughton. You'll notice your speeds in the 40s over there as well. Other than that, 24 is looking good. And over the Braga Bridge, starting to see a little bit more activity over here, a couple more headlights, but still looking good as you're making your way toward that state line. Heading north up 24, hour and 5 minutes, still under an hour if you're heading up 95. 295 commuters, you're in the clear from Warwick to Attleboro, whether you're heading north or south. Back over to you.
All right, Melissa, thank you. As we mentioned, we have a lot of news to cover this morning. We begin with breaking overnight news in Providence. Here's a look at video from overnight. A home fully engulfed in flames, more than a dozen people forced out into the street.
Firefighters initially thought there were some residents that were trapped inside, but at last check, it appears everybody escaped the inferno.
Eyewitness News reporter Alexandra Leslie is live with an update on Althea Street.
Good morning. Well, that fire started shortly after 1. It was going for a few hours. Crews just left the scene around 5, and now they've sealed off the home. Investigators will come back later today to try to determine a cause. Take a look at the fire, though, when it first started. This house was fully involved. We're told there was heavy fire on the first floor and that it quickly went up the sides of the house all the way to the roof. The fire quickly went from a second alarm to a fourth alarm. Deputy Chief Stephen Houle says this fire progressed, and while they usually have an interior attack first, it got too aggressive and crews were not able to get to the top of the fire. Here's what they had to do next.
Companies could not make the 3rd floor, so I ordered evacuation of the building. We went to master streams, knocked down the volume of fire, and then now companies are in with hair lines, getting spot fires.
And just look at the damage this morning from top to bottom. We're told a dog did not survive this fire. The good news right now, fire officials say no injuries to any people. We're told over a dozen people, or about 3 families, they self-evacuated this home. Luckily, fire officials say a search was done on the 1st and 2nd floor to be thorough, although it was not eventually needed. Reporting live from Providence, I'm Alexandra Leslie, Eyewitness News.
Also breaking overnight in Warwick, police investigating a double stabbing happening on Airport Road at about 1:30 this morning. We're not sure yet how the victims are doing, their current conditions, and there's no word on if any suspects were arrested. We'll continue to work the details this morning and pass you the details when we learn them.
Developing news now out of Fall River, where the city council has voted to temporarily remove Mayor Jason Correa from office. It happened at last night's city council meeting. It comes after Correa was arrested on federal extortion charges last week.
Now some people are wondering if this vote will hold any weight. Let's check in with Eyewitness News reporter Brandon Truitt. He's been following this story from the Breaking News Center.
Patrick, Danielle, good morning. The city council voting overwhelmingly to get Correa out of office. That final vote 8-1. This is a temporary move until his case is resolved. We spoke with the man at the center of this, and he is defiant. He's not going anywhere.
They can take any vote they'd like tonight, and then that vote will not be valid tomorrow, and I'll be back at my office at 9 a.m. like I am every day.
And they did vote him out. The room at last night's meeting was packed. Many applauded when that vote came in. The one no vote came from Councilman Stephen Camara. Now, Camara had previously said that he would work to delay any vote on Correa until after next week's preliminary election. He did not request the delay, but still voted against removing him from office. The council wants the keys to the mayor's office by 5 p.m. Friday. And if it goes through like they expect it will, President Cliff Ponte would then temporarily move into the mayor's seat.
I mean, I feel that the council made a decision that's what's best for Fall River, and I think that's a decision that the community wanted to hear. The community wanted the council to step up tonight and do what they were supposed to do and lead. Even though the decision might not be popular, it was the best decision for us to do.
There are still questions if council can legitimately vote to move him out of office as to how this will play out over the next couple of days. The former city attorney for the city says that they do not have that authority. Correa says he'll be at work this morning. Live in the Breaking News Center, Brandon Truitt, Eyewitness News.
This news developing overnight as well. New Patriots wide receiver Antonio Brown expected to attend his first practice with the team today, but that was before the news last night that Brown is being accused of sexual assault and rape. The accuser, a woman who went to college with Brown at Central Michigan and reportedly was a trainer for him in the past. She's filed a suit in Florida claiming she was sexually assaulted by Brown twice in 2017, then another time in 2018. Brown denying the allegations. New overnight, the Patriots releasing this statement, which reads in part, quote, "We take these allegations very seriously. Under no circumstance does this organization condone sexual violence or assault. The league has informed us that they will be investigating." Ruthie Polinsky will have more details coming up in sports in about 15 minutes.
Now at 6:07, we are remembering 9/11. Today marks 18 years since the deadliest attack on U.S. soil in modern day history. I'm going to show you a live look right now in New York City. You're looking at live pictures of the Freedom Tower. That's where a memorial service is going to be held later this morning for those who died at the World Trade Center. Several local ceremonies are also taking place today. Veterans will be taking part in a ceremony at the Memorial Wall on the grounds of the Veterans Cemetery in Exeter. In Central Falls, city leaders and first responders holding a service at the Public Safety Complex. And in New Bedford, the fire department will be taking part in a memorial exercise. The chaplain will also offer a prayer, and there's also a candlelight vigil planned for later today at Oakland Beach in Warwick. Coming up at 6:30, we'll show you how some high school students that were born after the attacks are paying tribute.
More coverage you can count on coming up in Eyewitness News.
After the break, we're learning more about that massive fire at the Wickford Shipyard yesterday. Could have been a whole lot worse.
And then later, a little girl from Massachusetts being treated after a rabid skunk went on the attack.
Before we head to break, though, here's a look at winning lottery numbers.
Weather 12 forecast this morning. Beautiful sky in North Kingstown here. A mixture of clouds. We have some low clouds up on the top of the screen and some high clouds that are out on the horizons, creating some nice colors for us. If you're walking out the door, you'll notice the warmer temperatures this morning, upper 60s to lower 70s. In Providence, we're just below 70 degrees. 69 right now in Newport and Boston. Hyannis both at 71. If you're headed west, New Haven, Hartford, and the lower 70s this morning. Headed to the low 80s away from the shore this afternoon. The warmth is short-lived, at least for now. We'll cool back down to a high of only 70 on Thursday. Lots of clouds around. Risk of a couple of showers. Friday looks cool and dry. Warming back up over the weekend. Details and my full forecast coming up.
Now the latest developments on yesterday morning's top story, that massive fire at the Wickford Shipyard. Now we're seeing the damage from a different angle. We have some drone video shared with us from a viewer. You can see the rubble left behind after the building went up in flames yesterday. Fortunately, nobody was hurt, but the fire chief says the building a total loss. This was the scene around 5 o'clock yesterday morning. Chief Scott Kettle says some wooden boats inside the building destroyed. Things could have been a whole lot worse if tanks of gasoline and diesel fuel next to the building had ignited. Environmental officials monitoring the air and nearby water for potential exposure to toxic chemicals as a result of the fire. The cause still under investigation.
5 candidates vying to replace former City Councilman Louis Aponte on the Providence City Council following his resignation in July because of a felony conviction. 4 Democrats and 1 independent candidate debated the issues at the Washington Park Community Center last night. The special primary election in that ward is set for October the 10th, general election November the 5th. Target 12 investigator Steph Machado was at the debate and has an in-depth report right now on our website and the WPRI 12 News app.
More local coverage coming up on Eyewitness News on this Wednesday morning.
A rabid skunk goes right after a toddler in Massachusetts. We'll hear about the attack when we come back.
And in sports, Red Sox heading north of the border, looking to gain some ground in the wild card race, even though that isn't much of a race anymore. Highlights from Toronto coming up.
Now, more local coverage. This is Eyewitness News on WPRI 12.
Covering New England now, a toddler from Massachusetts recovering after she was attacked by a rabid skunk. 2-year-old Fatima Bennett was playing outside at her home in Weymouth during a cookout this week. The skunk appeared in the yard, went right after her. The skunk latched onto her leg and only let go when someone kicked it away. When they got inside the house, firefighters were left to deal with this aggressive animal.
It took a while. The skunk kept coming at the firemen. They said it would not give up. They were spraying it directly in the face, and it kept coming at them,
Skunk did test positive for rabies. The little girl is going to be okay. She was treated for the bite and undergoing a course of rabies shots now.
Your time now is 6:15 on a Wednesday morning. Michelle joining us now with your forecast, and we're looking at some summer-like weather today. Kids want to dress appropriately for the classrooms, right?
Yeah, the temperature is 5-6 degrees warmer than normal for today. So that puts us back into the 80s for highs away from the coastline, Danielle. The other part of the weather story are the busy winds that we'll be seeing. How about this guy in Narragansett? We've got mostly clear conditions as we look out over the towers. We do have some extra cloudiness around, especially to the northeast Providence right now. Pointed out at the bike path, and noticing the tops of the trees here kind of blowing in the winds. They are already sustained at around 10 miles per hour, and they'll get stronger as the morning goes on. We could see some gusts as high as 30 miles per hour this afternoon. Upper 60s to low 70s out the door early this morning. 71 in Taunton, Providence at 69 degrees. That summer feel leading our 3 key things. We're tracking an isolated shower around for this evening, and again on Thursday, though much of the time it's dry. We do have more warmth ahead, so you want to hold on to the shorts and t-shirt as we do have some highs in the 80s. Second half of the weekend. Live Doppler radar right now tracking some showers to the north and west of us. These are going to try to push southeastward, so we'll keep an eye on them, though most of our computer models have them drying up before they get into Rhode Island or southeastern Massachusetts. Not only are we warmer today, but we're also muggier. Check out the 24-hour dew point change, really significant in northern New England, but even around here, a 6-degree jump in the dew point makes it feel a lot muggier out there, and you'll notice that for today too. Humid, breezy, a little patchy fog and cloud cover early this morning during the commute. Cold front is still well to the north of us, out ahead of these scattered showers. These again mostly staying north of us this morning. As the front gets closer to us, may bring us an isolated shower by the evening hours. So some of those clouds passing through this morning. In the afternoon, we're mainly sunny and dry much of the time. Here we are at 5 o'clock in the evening. I mentioned that risk in the evening hours for an isolated shower or thunderstorm, and you can see very, very isolated across southern New England. They'll tend to fizzle as the night goes on, and overnight tonight, just some patchy fog developing and cloud cover too. Now by Thursday morning, the cold front is south of us. We're on the cooler side of things, and with lots of clouds around and the risk of a few showers into the afternoon, we will see a big drop in the temperature, going from the lower 80s today to barely 70 for the high tomorrow. It's warm and breezy this afternoon. If you can get out and enjoy it, it's looking like a nice late summer day. Upper 70s in Wickford and Hope Valley, 80 Coventry, Foster and Scituate today, low 80s. Johnston at about 83, and down the East Bay between East Providence, Barrington, and Bristol, you're topping 80 degrees right around northern Bristol County in Massachusetts too. From Fall River to Attleboro, you're looking at upper 70s and lower 80s, a little bit cooler as you near the coastline. And speaking of the coast, we do have at the beach today about a 76-degree high temperature, just a moderate rip current risk, so use some caution if you're going in the water. The bay also with those busy winds, a small craft advisory starts at 11 a.m. this morning. High tides happening in about 50 minutes. We've got it happening at 6:50 this morning. Then for your evening hours, we're going to be dropping through the 70s. Could get a little bit of fog again in the overnight hours. Doesn't cool much through the night, only dropping to about 65 degrees, but then the temperatures don't change really much at all tomorrow. Upper 60s to around 70 degrees, and notice there are a lot of clouds around on Thursday. The risk of a couple of showers. Friday is dry, starting a warming trend Saturday. Nice summer day for us. Late summer day will be in the mid to upper 70s, with the chance of showers holding off more towards the evening and nighttime hours. Sunday looking dry, clearing skies, low 80s. The full forecast on WPRI.com throughout the day today. Let's go out to Melissa, pinpoint traffic this morning, and what's the very latest for the commute?
Well, for those of you who are Boston bound, heads up, we do have a crash Route 24 heading north. This is over in Stoughton, so starting to see more and more slowdown starting in Brockton. That continues until you hit the expressway. Once you hop onto the expressway, you're clear until you hit about the Milton area. Into Providence, things still looking great. You're cruising the speed limit. Things looking good from Seekonk, Johnston, Pawtucket, or Cranston. Looking all clear at the moment. For those of you crossing over state lines, your drive times looking very average. If you're making your way from Massachusetts into Providence, your speed's still in the 50s. Even faster if you're heading north. In between Rhode Island and Connecticut, you're in the clear. And as you can see, your roadway's looking nice and dry. Great visibility this morning. Looking good out there if you're getting ready to grab the keys and leave the house. Another update coming up in just a bit.
Now, Eyewitness Sports with Ruthie Polinsky.
Well, good morning, everyone. Antonio Brown is expected to report to Gillette for his first day of practice as a Patriot today. But this is now a different story. Antonio Brown facing legal allegations first reported by the New York Times last night. Brown is being accused of 3 different incidents of sexual assault and rape. A woman he went to college with is accusing him of 2 incidents in 2017 and again in 2018. Brown's attorney put out a statement last night responding to these accusations, saying the relationship they had was consensual, and Antonio Brown will pursue all legal remedies to not only clear his name, but to protect other professional athletes against false accusations. ESPN's Josina Anderson reporting Brown intends to countersue his accuser for civil extortion at this time. He is eligible to play this weekend as of now. Yesterday, prior to this news, the team reportedly trading Demaryius Thomas to the New York Jets for a 2021 6th-round pick. Thomas did not play in the Pats' home opener after being limited in practice all week. Meanwhile, the Patriots will hit the practice field today as they begin to prepare for Miami. And you'll hear this stat a lot this week. The Pats are 1-5 at Hard Rock Stadium since 2013.
A good way to start off the season. We watched the film today. We got a lot of things to clean up for sure, and we're nowhere near the team we need to be. And it's a long road, and we got a challenge this week in Miami.
There's always stuff to improve on, but it was a good win and good team effort.
Red Sox and Blue Jays last night. Nathan Eovaldi on the bump for Boston, but before he could even get there, the first pitch of the game, Mookie Betts swinging hard, swinging well, a leadoff home run to start the game. It's 1-0 Sox, tied at 2 in the 5th. Andrew Benintendi gets one to drop in center field, bringing home J.D. Martinez. Sox go up 3-2, but in the bottom of the 5th, Rowdy Tellez takes Josh Taylor deep to right center for the 2-run shot. That proves to be the game winner. Jays get the win 4-3. The Yankees up 4-0 on the Tigers in the 2nd inning last night with a man on for Brett Gardner. He goes deep to right off Edwin Jackson, a 2-run home run. That's his 2nd home run of the game already. Tigers score 6 runs in the 3rd inning to tie it up. Yankees up 7-6 here. Didi Gregorius adding to their lead. Deep to right. Solo shot in the 5th. The scoring doesn't stop there, not even close. Tigers up 10-8 in the 7th. Edwin Encarnacion to left field. A 2-run bomb ties it again. It's the Tigers who walk it off in the 9th. Jordy Mercer singling to right. Detroit gets the win 12-11. That's going to do it for your sports this morning. I'm Ruthie Polinsky. Have a great day.
6:23 now on a Wednesday morning, still ahead on Eyewitness News.
New baby monitor could use artificial intelligence to let new moms and dads know when their baby's going to wake up. Those details in your Money Matters report.
And then in a few minutes, 3 new gun control bills, including one introduced by Congressman Cicilline. They're headed to the House floor for a vote. We'll have a look at what they would accomplish if passed. Welcome back. Here's a look at your Money Matters report. Lawmakers in California have passed a landmark bill that could reshape the so-called gig economy.
It impacts app-based companies like Uber and Lyft, requiring they treat contract workers as employees. Paves the way for those workers to get sick and holiday pay. California's governor expected to sign the bill into law. Critics say the bill will drive up costs for companies by 20 to 30%. Apple unveiling its latest iPhone 11, with 2 cameras, and if 2 isn't enough, the Pro and Pro Max versions of the phone have 3 of them. Apple also revealed new details about their streaming service with original shows and movies. Apple TV Plus is going to be available in over 100 countries. The company also announced plans for a new gaming subscription called Apple Arcade.
Google appears to be creating a baby monitor that uses artificial intelligence. According to a patent document that recently became public, the device would track your baby's eyes and body movements. The monitor would also warn parents 5 to 10 minutes before their infant wakes up. The device would use AI to monitor the baby's behavior against a database of normal patterns. I don't know about you, but I could use the extra 5 to 10 minutes of sleep when my baby was little, right?
Yeah, certainly could. More local coverage coming up on Eyewitness News on this Wednesday morning.
We'll have more of the day's top stories, including an update on this fire that gutted a home on the west end of Providence overnight. Plus,
18 years after 9/11. I'm Lisa Mateo with how students who weren't even born on that tragic day are paying tribute.
Get more local video right now on WPRI.com. Sponsored by Cardi's Furniture and Mattresses. Online or in stores, nobody beats Cardi's guaranteed lowest Nairobi prices. Nobody.